Ja, hallo zu einer weiteren Runde Holgis Abenteuerspiele. So, ich würde sagen, da machen wir dann gerade mit unseren 3 Minuten zu Mitternacht weiter. Sind wir das letzte Mal als Becky ja verhaftet worden von den Militärs oder gefangen genommen worden und jetzt müssen wir ja als ihre Mutter weiterspielen. Passt mir zwar nicht so, weil, wie schon gesagt, mir es überhaupt nicht gefällt, wenn mitten im Spiel die Leute getauscht werden, wenn man sich gerade an eine gewöhnt hat, soll man jetzt mit einer neuen spielen. Passt mir persönlich überhaupt nicht, aber mal schauen, ob sie es gut umgesetzt haben, was ich hoffe, weil bisher ist das Spiel recht schön gewesen. Ich hoffe, dass so bleibt. Dann wollen wir gleich mal schauen. Ich mache mich kleiner und machen wir Spiel fortsetzen. So.
That painting has been on that wall for generations. Let us keep it that way, shall we?
Okay.
The only time I will relocate this painting will be when I move to the White House. Chuck is exactly where he wants to be. Chuck has so many amazing experiences in his life. It was such an honor when he came out of retirement to work here.
Ja.
A rock. Fascinating. Wait, how did this get here? A rock. Wait.
Okay. Dann schauen wir mal.
Leave the book alone. Nothing is going on that would require such extreme measures.
Okay.
I have nothing to say to the townspeople at the moment.
Das war's dann hier, würde ich mal sagen. Dann gehen wir mal raus. Schauen wir mal, wie es draußen aussieht.
Now, getting back to my campaign. What should I do first? I suppose it is past time to introduce myself to those businessmen from Chicago. Joseph told me earlier he saw the barber and his associate hanging in the park. That could be a good starting point. However, I could visit Father Jenkins since the church is right around the corner.
Okay.
Decisions. Do not touch, don't touch.
So. Hier ist niemand. Schild mit Wahlpropaganda, schaust du mal an.
Eliza Barrett. You say corruption like it's a bad thing. There is no rest.
Okay, dann gehen wir jetzt mal zum Pfarrer. Das sieht ein bisschen anders aus.
I remember the old sequoia trees we used to have in... Good to see the tallest one is still hanging around.
Okay.
I hate having to ask Pius for favor, but this pipe organ secured the religious vote in the last election. The patron saints of freelance holy justice. Sometimes I think we would... Then again, trouble does...
Okay, dann werden wir mal mit Pater.
Mayor Barrett, you blasphemous, self-absorbed, treacherous heathen. You have a lot of nerve walking in here.
And here I thought the church accepted everyone, despite their past sins. Clearly, you priests are all talk and no trousers.
Good to see you, old fiend.
Enough compliments, Father. I expect you know why I am here, correct?
I don't need messages from the divine to figure this one out. It's been almost 4 years since the election, so...
Also werden in den USA die Bürgermeister alle 4 Jahre gewählt. Bei uns ist es ja alle 8 Jahre. Ja, dass deine Gemeinde weiß. Das wäre... Oh.
I trust your congregation knows who is the best option to continue leading this town.
Straight to the point and always self-serving. 2 of your most charming characteristics. That said, to be honest, I feel as though it might be time for a change.
I see. In that case, if I am to lose the elections, I guess I shall have to start my own church. And since I own this land, I see no reason not to build my church where this one currently stands. Which do you prefer? Elizaology, the Great Sept of Barrett, the Supreme Holy Church of Mayorality?
Jesus, Mary Joseph and his toolbox. This changes everything. Eliza, I may have my doubt, but I know you really do want what's best for all of us. Heck, if you ran for Pope, I'd even...
Maybe someday, but the presidency comes first. Besides, I do not care for the hat. Remember the day you decided to be...
Like it, I was an innocent young man. I just left home to go on Rumspringa. Maybe I was running a little wild, with all the partying, the drinking, the gambling.
Yes, perhaps.
But I prayed to the Lord.
Something has...
Little Elizabeth, I assume?
She's not so little anymore, and I feel like I am...
Well, with Pastoral Count 1, we try to work through your issues using a combination of 2. We can just grab that exorcism in a box I have.
Ich könnte einfach darüber reden.
I suppose...
Killjoy.
Ich lerne ja, Schulleistungen.
I think the biggest...
I see. Have you tried talk?
Of course I have. But according to Dr. Dixon, and I quote, she's thicker than frozen peanut butter. At this point, I'm considering sending her to a nunnery.
Anything but that, Eliza. If your daughter were to join the church, she would turn it on its head. And what's worse, she'll probably finagle her way into becoming Pope.
I admit that would be bad for the faithful. But it would also create marvelous networking opportunities for me.
Wie kann ich...
How can I make her stop working at Michael's?
Perhaps try telling her to stop.
As if she would listen. Besides, knowing her, she would end up owning her own franchise and become wildly successful. Just to spite me.
But wait, wouldn't that...
Not helping, Father. Let us say I am... What comes in the kit?
Some holy batrachotroxin water, a stake carved from the cross Jesus was crucified on, a pistol with 13 silver bullets, the tips and tricks for novice exorcists booklet, and the phone number for the Vatican customer service hotline.
Do you have any non-lethal solutions?
I'm afraid the Vatican does not deal in half-hearted measures when it comes to things like these.
Father, might that be based on her hitting you with a cross in front of the congregation last week?
No.
Tell me, Father.
Well, we have a lot of programs aimed at benefiting our community. There are seminars, motivational talks, pamphlets, and that's not all. We've launched an amazing remote conversion program in cooperation with the Army.
Wen reden wir?
What kind of...
Oh, we offer many kinds, ranging from marital advice. We even discuss science in some sessions.
Das werden wir mal sehen.
Living...
It's basically a series of reminders that if you don't behave according to the Holy Scriptures, you, well, you know, go to hell.
So much for instilling hope in your flock.
Well, after 3 hours of striking terror in their feeble hearts and minds, we eventually reach the Q&A. That's where I really shine. What can we do to avoid going to hell, Father?
And then comes the talk about redemption through donation. Clever.
Ein wissenschaftlicher
A science. Is the church finally...
That seminar examines and disproves many of the fallacies of modern...
So, just to be clear, when...
Debunking asinine theories, of course. The Big Bang, gravity, evolution, dinosaurs. You know, all those things you really can't see or prove.
Anscheinend.
Apparently, some former Navy man is starting a wild new religion.
It's not a religion so much as a cult based around evading taxes.
As opposed to...
Not funny, Eliza. These guys make the Mormons look reasonable and grounded.
Do they now?
The hell they do. Enough of this topic.
Was für den Flugblättern?
Tell me about...
They advertise our weekly meetings to discuss our Lord and Savior Jesus.
Do you also have one on leprechauns?
Don't be silly, Eliza. Everyone knows those are extinct.
You mentioned motivational talks?
Oh, let me tell you, those motivational speeches...
I do not mean to be rude, but this church is empty whenever I stop by. Who is attending your...
Attending? I give the talks to myself in front of the mirror every morning. Without them, I would have quit this job years.
Is your faith not reason enough to wake...
Faith doesn't pay the bills, Eliza.
Ich würde gerne beichten, ne?
I believe it is time...
Obwohl, schauen wir mal, was passiert, wenn ich sage...
Greetings. Father.
Well, even if I wanted to, I couldn't. Vow of poverty, remember?
Is that not what the little ritual with the plate is all about? It might finally be time for me to confess my misdeeds and seek forgiveness for my sins.
You almost got me, Eliza.
I believe it is time I return to my duties.
So.
I know better than to leave my...
Okay, das ist jetzt interessant. Ein ganz anderer Pfarrer wie vorhin. Dann gehen wir mal in den Park.
No, Bombini. You capito niente. You have to go down in the third round. Third round. Capiche?
Come on, mister. We've been at this for hours. I heard in places I didn't even know existed.
Fine. Take 5, Bambini.
You'll pay for my sister's medicine if we do this, right?
I am a man of my word, Bombino. What did I tell you, Marco? It's about time we met La Syndica.
Sindaca? That is Italian for...
Please, excuse us. It means mayor. Our grasp of English is never mind.
Deutsch,
Let us introduce ourselves. My name is Frank Cooper, and my amigo here is Marco DeLuca.
Would someone care to explain exactly what is going on here?
Niente, Syndica.
Actually,
we were just teaching him about the beauty of sports. Right, Bombini?
yes?
In that case, I expect you to be on your best behavior.
Yes, ma'am.
Wen werden Sie wählen?
Gentlemen, as you may know, there is an election coming, and I am looking to extend my influence.
Ah, yes, the election. What do you think, Marco? Should we vote for her?
We could vote for her.
Are you insinuating a
Bribe?
I'd say it's more of a... This town could certainly benefit from one of our rental secure. Most businesses are already on board, but we're having some trouble convincing.
I suppose if I manage to persuade Miss... You might be persuaded to vote for me. Gentlemen, you have yourselves a deal.
I like you. Make sure she signs everywhere.
Since you are new...
Das soll uns werden. Ja, machen wir von
It
oben
is
runter.
almost as if you just appeared one day and that with your new business fully up, that is on you.
All right. Are you wearing a watch? Are you setting us up?
Marco. It's a long story, but suffice to say we had a disagreement.
Yeah, luckily the feds offered us protection and a relocation.
And what exactly was this collapse?
Oh, some client lists, a couple phone numbers, a jar of one. Nothing big. Just enough for them to help us relocate.
Truly, Il Amico Ortega went above and beyond.
Über Ihr Unternehmen schauen wir
I'm
mal.
interested in hearing more about your...
Sure. We're getting into the mining business, as well as insurance. Of course, we will not abandon the class. Tourism, construction, fuel...
Contract billing, boss. You meant contract billing.
Ich muss...
You do not strike me as a people person.
Ah, Syndica. There's something about holding a razor in your that makes them tell you things they wouldn't even tell them.
Knallgeräusche aus ihrer Wohnung.
Apparently, the explanation people seem to have is that you are sacrificing animals to the devil.
You wouldn't have a name for the unsavory individuals who...
No, I cannot quite remember. Michael. It was Michael Walker, owner of Mike's Diner. You will find his home 3 streets down from your barbershop to the left.
Well then, Marco. I believe we have a lake trip ahead of us soon.
I do not...
It was not designed for this country. We had a home shipped from Italy, brick by brick.
The town planner would die if he saw how it clashed with the other homes.
He would not be the first to die because...
Apologies, Syndica. He meant that the previous owner... Natural causes.
Wir müssen über Haustiere
We
sprechen.
need...
Sparkles? What's wrong with Lamigata?
Oh, she is a ray of sunshine on a cloudy day, Syndica. She'd never hurt a fly. She'd never hurt a fly. Without reason.
I shall see you gentlemen another time.
Arrivederci.
So, dann unterhalten wir uns mit ihr.
There's a predator nearby.
Good morning, Doc. And you must be Ms. Peanut, the new principal.
In the flesh. And
Eliza Barrett, your mayor, like it or not.
good to meet you, Mayor Barrett.
Well, I must say, I'm surprised to see...
I know, but I just couldn't wait. I like to go in and get the lay of the land before a hunt begins. The climate, the plants, the hiding spots for prey animals.
Well, it seems that Dr. Dixon has neglected to inform you that this beast is my only child. And she has a proper name, you know.
You of all people saying that.
Du, sie. Okay.
Back already, Ms.
Okay.
You may believe you are capable of dealing, but I assure you, she is far worse than your average juvenile delinquent.
I guess it couldn't hurt to see where my predecessors went wrong and learn from their mistakes.
You've already
Sure.
made the biggest blunder possible. Coming here in the first place.
What would you like?
Just the normal sorts of things you need to know when hunting specific, you know, her diet, habitat, behavioral patterns in the wild.
Forget about our habits, Miss Peanut. You should be worried about the things you can't predict. Like the time she trained all the dogs in town to start howling at 2 a.m. Or how about the time she took hostages until we got rid of all the broccoli in the cafeteria? And there was this time she found a screwdriver and just started randomly removing screws all over town. I'm still too scared to sit in my own chair.
Now that is what I call a lifetime of crime.
Lifetime? All of that happened just last week, Miss Peanut.
It has been lovely to meet you, Ms. Peanut, but I must be off.
Ja. Miss.
Oh, hello. Mayor Barrett,
Miss Moore, dear, you really should get that cough looked at.
I'd love to, but the hospital won't even let me in the front door. Any news on our situation?
Corona's town hall stubbornly refuses to take my calls lately. Tell me, are your accommodations?
Oh, the high school gym is fine.
Was ist...
But are you sure the coyotes are okay with us sleeping there?
Of course they are. I swear that
Is
team
it?
must be... Can you even imagine something worse than losing every... Well, do take care, Miss Moore.
Okay. Gehen wir mal wieder
I
rein.
have no business at... Must be careful with these...
Okay.
I have no business...
Kann man da jetzt nicht weiterkommen? Nee.
For a
Wahlplakat.
greener future.
Geht's hier irgendwo weiter? Sprechen wir noch mit ihm.
And what are you
My sister keeps getting worse. The hospital won't let us in, and we can't go back, so we're dealing with the problem.
Initiative. That is equality.
You're the mayor! Isn't there
I promise to look into it, but that is all I can.
Did you need...
How are you kids settling in?
Miss Mayor, this might be... What is our situation? It's just that ever since we got kicked out of Corona, we don't know which end... Are we still orphans if we don't have an orphanage to call home?
Ihnen bis Tage. So.
How ungrateful. I even took you on that field trip to...
We spent the entire time sitting around in that bunker while you... Also, ever since you told me to focus on the explosion, everything's in sepia!
See? There were even fireworks. How could you...
Give it to me straight, Miss Mayor. Will I ever see
Town Hall is not responsible for any injuries, illness, or dismemberments. Since you may...
I guess.
How did you all...
You mean how we were... Well, we all have different...
What happened?
Our parents were on vacation in Hawaii. Visit...
Oh, God, Gregory.
Die? Oh, no, they're not dead.
Wait, what?
Mom and Dad met a crooked salesman. Lordy, and he sweet-talked them into buying this big condo. Long story short, it was a scam. They'd run out of money and had to declare the mayor seized all of their assets in Corona to help pay. And then he kicked us out of our house.
On the bright side, your parents are in a bed. Tell me about...
See, he went on a family trip to the Grange. They were having a great...
By George Washington's iconic white wig. Please do not tell me they jumped.
What? No!
Sure.
Joey just wasn't paying attention. So he got into the wrong car and fell. It just so happened to be the mayor of Corona's car. He slept all the way back to Corona. By the time they realized what happened, the mayor tried to track them down for weeks. Finally, they just dropped him off at the orphanage.
How did Mr.
I don't actually know if he ever did become an orphan.
What on earth
he never had a mom or dad. We were just playing in the park. Bobby appeared in a flash of blinding light.
You want me to believe this was a case of spontaneous...
Hey! Betty keeps telling the same story.
None of those...
No.
So, you lied.
Only in the sense that you expected me to tell the truth in the first place.
Well, I cannot wait for your new families to arrive here tomorrow and
Yay! We're getting it.
Haha, no. Let me ask you something else. Do you...
Well, we...
Wonderful. Where does he live? I can have you sent to him
Yeah, that's the thing. He has too many rules. Eat all your veg. Don't play with that white robe. It's not a I'm going out until morning, so...
Forget I mentioned it. In fact, I think you should give Sheriff Coltrane your uncle's...
Yes, ma'am.
I have all the information.
If he says...
Was hat das mit?
Oh, those nice gentlemen over there came. They said if we gave their friends a good show, they'd give us...
What kind of show?
Tonight, get ready. You will be witnesses. Greg, formula-fed mom.
Oh, I see. The very best of... Do you know where...
Linda? Oh, she went to the diner with, what's his name?
Slim? John Slim?
Yeah.
I will be going now. Do behave yourselves.
What up?
Okay.
I have no time.
I don't know which I enjoy more, Miss Peanut. Why do I feel so cold?
A pleasure to see you. How are you?
It depends. Some days I wonder why I took this job. Other days, I simply...
I am starting to think I gave you too much faith. Perhaps our students would benefit from a year-round instructional model.
Well, given the unique economic and social pressure, as well as the fact that the school acts in and must ensure a safe learning environment for all, we simply wouldn't have the resources to keep Betty enrolled. Homeschool.
Damn it. If I had known she was going to be such a political liability... Let us...
It's a beautiful day. Let's not bring back any...
I just thought After all, we must learn...
Oh, so that That's why.
Your lucky ghosts cannot cross the ocean.
Wie genau lange...
How exactly does one end up in your former line of work?
I was encouraged by Julius to collaborate and assist him with some calculations.
So you were just Oppenheimer's human calculator?
I mean, this calculator here did the math for them.
Please, if we are talking explosions, you know my off.
Don't be absurd, Eliza. You know she...
Was ist das?
Look at that mushroom cloud, Peaky! I told you there was no such thing as too much plutonium! Hey, where's Roscoe?
I stand corrected.
Was there ever a point where, hey, maybe we should slow things down?
After the first detonation, I did think that mankind was never meant to play with life. On the bright side, in one of our breaks, we did manage to... We call it the Bite Nuker. It could cook sealed cans of Chef Mike's meatballs in 5 seconds.
Wait, what?
One of Hilbert's unsolved mathematical problems. Why do Mike's meatballs taste like sewage when cold, but amazing at...
Well, I never expected this question would lead to a whole conversation.
Oh yes, Mike's meatballs. You never see them coming.
Also, sind Sie mit dem Stundenplan für das nächste Jahr
Are you happy
zufrieden?
with the class schedule for next year?
Not at all. I understand that this is grade school, but I really need...
Is this the part where you list all the fancy pieces of paper?
I don't brag about my accomplishments, not my astrophysics degree,
Yeah.
or my master's in engineering, or the triple doctorate in cultural social...
My God, you must have a lot of free...
And I have my teaching degree, my 200-hour TEFL, and my degree in culinary arts. Well, actually, I haven't finished that last one yet.
An unfinished culinary degree. This is deeply... If you are not appropriately qualified to teach, I'm afraid we must adjust your...
If you do that, every field trip the children will take next year will be to town hall.
It was worth a shot.
Wir müssen meines
We
nachkommen.
need to talk about...
Eliza, it's a beaut. Why do you want to ruin it by talking about your daughter?
Dr. Dixon, I know Betty is not the... or the most intellectual, or the smartest, or the not dumbest, but...
For Darwin's sake, Eliza. Not that I care, but you're her mother.
Sie sind ihre Mutter,
Look,
nicht
since
du.
Betty will never pass, why don't you have her join the circus?
You disappoint. I thought you were taking this serious.
Oh, I am. Think about it. She'd be away from home, she'd travel, she'd meet new people. And more importantly, she'd cease to be a problem for either of us.
Dann ist ihr den Schlafraum bei dem Gedanken.
Do you think she's losing sleep over facing Betty next fall?
See for yourself.
Crikey, that's a big one.
Does that answer your...
Glauben Sie ernsthaft, dass Sie mit Betty
Siri,
fertig...
I don't know. I'm concerned that she'll fall apart once she meets.
what are you not telling?
Where do I... Would you care to hear about the forgery, the bullying, or the tantrum?
Noch eine Fälschung?
Well, what did I allegedly give her?
Here's the last note her mom sent me.
Dear Ms. Dixon, how are you? I am fine. Betty cannot come to school today because she is dead. Stay sexy, Eliza.
She got the signature right, though.
I knew I did not approve that allowance increase agreement.
Meine, einige Schwächen.
My offspring has some flaws. She grabbed the exchange students and painted them purple from head to toe. Whenever someone asked, she just told them, they're Smurfs, deal with it.
What even is a smurf?
Honestly, I didn't call you about it because it was so funny.
Wutanfall.
What do you mean?
Well, she failed the test again and told me she'd hold her breath until I changed the grade.
I imagine my offspring actually went through with it.
Yep, fainted out cold right there in the classroom. Don't worry, Eliza. She probably didn't do too much damage. Well, I mean, you have to have brain cells before you can deoxygenate them.
Enough. I know more.
Wait, one more thing. She keeps making up words.
Good. That shows creativity.
And when I correct her, she refuses to accept it and says that's what I said in the first place.
Gaslighting people, twisting their words around. Maybe she has a future in politics after all. That will be all, Dr. Dixon.
Okay, kann ich noch
I
nicht.
believe we have...
Wait, Ms. Mayor, before you go, I need to talk to you about my pay. Do you have any idea what rental prices are like? They're even worse than what I was paying when I lived in Sicily.
Hey, since we're talking about...
As I said before, I really must be...
Okay, die Frage ist nur...
There are no maps left. That is the 5th time this month. Ah, I love it.
Okay. Ja, da geht's weiter. Haben wir da nicht...
For a limited time only. No.
Aha.
I'm not a big fan. I will leave it there in case...
Okay.
Back in 5 minutes. If I...
Dann gehen wir hier wieder rüber.
In honor and memory of my darling son Bob, the tiny octopus who vanished in Crystalline Lake. Lost. I would love to stare at the fountain. It represents such a considerable portion of my retirement savings. But we have...
Okay, kann ich da hinten weiter? Oh, Max.
Maxwell, come on. A minute of your time.
I can't. Why don't you drop by tomorrow for the opening party? I could use your support.
I shall see what I...
Oh, I almost forgot. Here, take one.
Okay.
First drink's on me.
That is a terrible policy.
Dann schauen wir mal, was haben wir denn alles?
The Hangar 84 expansion blueprint. Knowing things that others do not.
Das hier?
Miss Valentine's future rent. Honestly, selling her soul.
Okay.
Aloha. Leave shame at home and come to the grand opening. We are on fire with excitement. Present this.
Okay, dann gehen wir wieder raus. Und dann weiß ich ja, wo ich hingehen muss.
You're late with the shipment again. That's the 3rd time this month.
I'm honestly surprised I made it out of there.
Filthy nut smugglers. They're becoming smarter and more organized by the day.
What are your orders?
Take the secret route down to Ciudad Juarez. That should buy us some extra time.
Aye, aye, ma'am.
Okay.
If I could replace it so easily.
Pat Garrett.
Amos's conspiracy theories before lunchtime? Let me first find a...
Dann sprechen wir auch mal mit der Dame hier.
Are you really in the mood for jibber jabber?
Die Bitte. Nein.
Good.
Aber ich muss hier hin. Notiz.
Dear fools, I'm on my break at Mike's Diner. If you want something fixed, do it yourself at your own home. Or just wait for me. Whatever. Love, Linda. P.S. If I catch anyone fooling around in here, I'll wrench them good. Don't test me.
Okay. Stopp. Hier wollte ich doch hinklicken. Kann ich da hinten? Jawohl. Aha. Und rein geht's.
Heavens above! Look who deigned to grace us with her presence! If it isn't the worst mayor in history!
Oh, Michael. You're as funny as your food is edible.
I know, right? Hey, wait a minute! You want to say that again? I'm not scared to kick out the mayor.
You sure you want to try that, Michael? Considering how that worked out for you last time.
Damn you and your friggin' lawsuits, Eliza! How you managed to convince an entire jury that I hurt your foot with my butt is beyond me! Just don't stay here too long. You'll scare off my clientele.
Okay. Dann werden
If
wir
this is actually anything like ketchup.
Hey, no outside food. What?
Miss Jones
Miss
wollte ich
Mayor,
doch.
it's so good to... You're welcome to join me for dinner if you like.
Thank you for the invitation. But I would like to avoid contracting ringworm tonight. Thank you.
Well, then what can I do for you?
What is
Casino-Projekt.
the current status of our casino project?
Operation Clean Eating is right on schedule.
Speaking of which, perhaps we could move up the demolition date.
As much as I'd love to, we need to wait. Rushing it could jeopardize the whole operation.
Wait, back up. What's...
Oh, nothing much.
No.
Just a lowlife's pride and joy.
Well, glad to hear you aren't talking about my diner.
Oh, sitzen Sie hier.
Why are you...
I don't mind.
Now, what is...
It's just, I find it hard to click with people my age around here.
Vielleicht möchten Sie ja mit Mr. Slim. Ah, Moment kurz, Telefon. Ja. So, okay, ich muss auch dann gleich aufhören. Speichern kann man es nicht, also muss ich da...
Perhaps you would be interested...
Oh, no, there's nothing but...
Oh, I know what's going on here.
You were in love?
And why do you care, Slim?
Yeah, Slim, why do you...
I was just,
Nicht eingreifen, ja.
Fine, I admit it. I mean, these milkshakes. Yeah, the milkshakes. Best thing ever. Right, Mike?
Michael, are you dead?
No, it's just no one's ever given me a compliment before, so I'm kind of stumped.
Savor it. You will be the last one you ever get.
Weirdos.
Just...
Thank you.
That will...
If anything...
Okay. So, jetzt muss ich leider aufhören, weil Besuch kommt. Also, ich hoffe, es hat euch bis jetzt gefallen. Ist anscheinend doch noch recht interessant, jetzt als Mutter zu spielen. Vor allem kommen da jetzt Sachen raus, dass es doch ein wenig anders ist wie zuvor gedacht in dieser Stadt. Da bin ich gespannt, was jetzt noch alles kommt. Also, ich war ja bisher skeptisch, dass ich jetzt eine neue Person spielen muss, aber mal schauen. Es fühlt sich recht interessant jetzt an, wie es war, bevor da jetzt die ganze Gedächtnisschwundsachen und so weiter, bevor es die gegeben hat. Da bin ich jetzt gespannt, wie es weitergeht. Vor allem ein ganz anderer Fahrer. Die Linda ist mit dem Slim zusammen. Hier, die ist anscheinend bei der Bürgermeisterin angestellt. Recht interessant. Mal schauen, wie es weitergeht. Ja, und wie gesagt, ich hoffe, es hat euch gefallen. Und ich hoffe, wir sehen uns wieder. Bis dahin wünsche ich euch noch alles Gute, einen schönen Tag. Macht's gut. Tschüss.